on Public Services. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Varga, looks like she just joined in.
Okay. Yep, I heard her.
Here.
Commissioner Palmera,
Here.
Commissioner Hattis,
Present.
Commissioner Daub,
Here.
Commissioner Baydoun,
Here.
Commissioner Ware,
Present.
Chair Marecki.
Here.
You have a quorum present.
Okay, thank you. Next item.
B, approval of the July 21st, 2020 meeting minutes.
So move, Madam the Chair.
Okay.
Support.
Okay, we have an approval by Commissioner Hattis, support by Commissioner Varga. Since this is just the meeting minutes, we'll just take a call vote. Everyone in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, that passes. Next item.
C, old business, there is none.
Okay, next item.
Item D1, under new business, communication from Capital Development and Buildings Administration, forwarding notification of an emergency procurement with Train US Inc.
Okay, and I just want to make sure everybody saw the addenda that was sent to the staff has been working very hard the last few days to get all this done. So I just wanted to make sure everybody saw that. Okay, so the first item, emergency procurement. Any questions on that? Comments? I did not hear what that was. Does someone-
Approval.
Okay.
Support.
Commissioner Dodd moved approval and Commissioner Hattis moved support. And this looks like it had a PO and it was an approved vendor. So any questions on this? Okay, Madam Clerk, will you call, well, this is a receive and file. All right.
Move to receive and file.
Okay. All right, all those in favor to receive and file this communication, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, motion passes. Next item.
Item 2, requesting commission approval of modification to a cooperative contract with Kirk's Automotive.
Okay. This also has a contract. Any questions on this?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I do have a question on this. I was wondering why we're modifying this contract. It seems like we're extending it out for another year and increasing the amount of the contract rather than doing a new contract.
There's someone from the administration?
Yes, Derek Coley, Equipment Division Director.
Yes, go ahead.
I can tell the committee that next year you will see a request for a multi-year contract.
Okay, was there, did you just need some additional time to get certain projects done with this contract?
Basically, that's it. Yes, this was the quickest way for us to get these parts. This is our largest parts contract and our largest parts supplier. We do get very, very deep discounts through NAPA. NAPA is, probably the biggest parts supplier in the U.S. We get to order across their whole catalog, and the discounts are very deep. So we will begin working on our next contract, and like I said, you will see a request within the next year for a multi-year contract. But just out of need and out of our satisfaction with the pricing and with this contract, and the fact that NAPA provides us a dedicated sales rep who comes to visit us every week. They are a very good vendor. To extend it was in our best interest and definitely in the best interest of the county. So, but once again, you will see a request very soon for a multi-year contract, a new one.
Okay, and we've only, this is the first modification of this contract, correct? We've not modified it.
This is actually the second one, Commissioner. The first modification was for 5 months, and then this one will extend us through September 6th of next year.
Okay. Okay, that is all I had. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, do I have direction on this?
Move for approval. Support.
Okay, we have an approval by Commissioner Palomera, supported by Commissioner Haydes. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll on this, please?
Commissioner Varga,
Yes.
Commissioner Palomera,
Yes.
Commissioner Hadis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dobb,
Yes.
Commissioner Baydoun,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Chair Markey.
Yes. Item passes. Next item.
Item 3, requesting commission approval of a contract with the Michigan Department of Transportation.
Madam the Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make the motion for this bridge renovation that I received so much complaint about that. And I'd like to make the motion first. And secondly, I have a couple of questions. Maybe Ron could answer them.
Okay, go ahead. Ron, are you on the line?
Yes, I am here.
Yes.
Okay.
Ron, I have the industry on the other side of the bridge. They have a lot of employees. They concern about the rerouting if you close the bridge totally. How many miles the rerouting the traffic? Is that going to be very long one or short one?
Unfortunately, it is a long detour route because there's no other roads available.
Yeah, I've been told they're shortcut through the park. Their road, you know, through the park. We have the ability to make detour through the park.
We are not allowed to post detours through park property like that.
Ah, okay, that answered the question.
Especially for
And
trucks too.
yeah, and the start day time for the bridge and the completion, how many months?
I'll have to get back with you on that one.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we have an approval, and I didn't hear a support.
Varga.
Varga support. Are there any other questions or comments about this?
Yes, Madam Chair, I have one question.
Yes. Yep, go ahead.
So this is also an MDOT project. Does MDOT choose the contractors, or does Wayne County?
We supply the plans and specifications to MDOT. MDOT advertises it, and they use a low bidder for this project.
Okay.
This is the same thing we do with all of our MDOT projects.
Okay. All right. Great. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else have a question, comment? Okay, Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Commissioner Varga,
Yes.
Commissioner Palomera,
Yes.
Commissioner Hadis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dobb,
Yes.
Commissioner Baydoun,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Chair Markey.
Yes. Motion passes. Next item.
Item 4, requesting commission approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the Michigan Department of Transportation.
Okay, this is for traffic sign modernization.
I'd like to make that motion for approval.
Okay, who was that?
Sam,
Yeah.
Baydoun.
Oh, say for number 4?
Yes, that's in
Okay.
my district.
Okay. And Commissioner Hadis supported that. Okay, any questions about this? Okay, Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Commissioner Varga,
Yes.
Commissioner Palomera,
Yes.
Commissioner Hadis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dobb,
Yes.
Commissioner Baydoun,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Chair Markey.
Yes, motion passes. Next item.
Item 5, requesting commission approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the Michigan Department of Transportation.
Okay, this is for another traffic signal engineering.
I'll move approval.
Okay, was that
Support.
Alona?
Varga.
Varga, okay.
If I can make one
Support.
comment,
Jewel.
Supported by Commissioner Ware. And who wanted to make a comment?
this is Ron Agasinski.
Oh, go ahead, Ron.
Item 4 and item 5 is for the engineering design work of the traffic signals at these two locations.
Yes.
We'll be following, will be construction contract with MDOT for these two locations also. So these are just for the design work only.
Yep.
Madam Chair, I'll move 4 and 5.
Okay, 4 was already,
Support.
we already voted on 4, so 5. Did you approve that first, Varga?
Yes.
Okay, all right. And who seconded it?
Jewel.
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 Okay, Jewel. Okay, sorry. When you have the agenda on here, you can't see people, and so it's all on my hearing. So, okay. Any other questions with this or comments? Okay, Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Commissioner Varga,
Yes.
Commissioner Palomero,
Yes.
Commissioner Hattis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dobb,
Yes.
Commissioner Baydoun,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Chair Marecki.
Yes, motion passes. Next item.
Item 6, requesting commission approval of an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Livonia.
Yes, from Merriman Road from Plymouth to Schoolcraft.
I'll move approval. Commissioner Dobb.
Support.
Okay, thank you. Dobb and Hattis, any questions, comments on this much needed project? Okay, Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Commissioner Varga,
Yes.
Commissioner Palomero,
Yes.
Commissioner Hattis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dobb,
Yes.
Commissioner Baydoun,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Chair Marecki.
Yes. Motion passes. Next item, please.
Item 7, requesting commission approval of a 3-year contract with a 1-year option to renew with Wade Trim Associates.
Okay, this is for the short and medium span bridges. Any questions on this?
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Anderson?
thank you, thank you.
Okay.
I missed it when you were on 6. I did want to ask the question if I could real quick. Maybe Ron
Sure.
can answer. If you don't mind me backing up to that and just asking a quick question.
That's fine.
Merriman Road from Plymouth to Schoolcraft, I believe that was the one you just did. The work, it's already in progress. I'm just trying to figure out what this is approval for. This looks like the project itself, but there's work been going on there for like a week. And I'm just trying to figure out what's going, at least a week.
That's correct. This is the cost sharing agreement with the City of Livonia for their portion of the project.
Okay, don't we typically do that before we start the project?
Yes, we try and get them to that, but we sent this to Livonia before the COVID shutdown, and that caused some delay in the city getting it approved.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thanks, Madam Chair.
Sure. Okay, back on 7. Any questions on this? Okay, Madam Clerk, could you call the roll for number 7?
Did we get a
Oh,
motion?
I'm sorry.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Okay,
Varga.
Support.
okay. We have Commissioner Hattis and Commissioner Varga. Okay, now can you call the roll? Sorry about that.
Commissioner Varga,
Yes.
Commissioner Palomero,
Yes.
Commissioner Hattis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dobb,
Yes.
Commissioner Baydoun,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Chair Marecki.
Yes, motion passes. Next item.
Item 8, requesting commission approval of a cooperative agreement with Allied Building Service.
Okay, this
Varga
is for
moves.
water line at Ninkin Mills. Okay, it's moved by Varga,
Support.
support by Baydoun. Any questions on this? Looks like it's a water line replacement at Ninkin Mills. A much needed water line replacement. Anyone? Okay, Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Commissioner Varga,
Yes.
Commissioner Palomero,
Yes.
Commissioner Hattis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dobb,
Yes.
Commissioner Baydoun,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Chairman Recchi.
Yes, motion passes. Okay, on to the addenda then. Madam Clerk?
Item 9 on the addenda, communication from Capital Development and Buildings Administration forwarding notification of an emergency procurement with Siemens Industry.
Okay, the next 9 through 12 items are emergency procurements, but I feel like we need to take these one at a time because of various issues with each one. So the first one, if the commissioners have reviewed the information on this, this fire panel indicator wasn't working. Is there any questions on this?
I'll move it.
Okay. Varga?
Support.
Okay, Varga and Ware?
Yes.
Okay. Anything with this? Okay, Madam Clerk, could you call this? Oh, actually, this is a receive and file. So if the
Madam
Yes.
Chair,
Yes.
so the work has already been done
Yes.
on this and all of these items?
Yep.
The addenda? Okay.
Yes.
Wanted to confirm that.
Yeah, the emergency procurement, they're allowed to do that and then bring it to us within 30 days. But again, I think we have some questions on some of these emergency procurements. Okay,
thank you.
so this, you know what, I'm gonna go for a voice vote for these, even though they're receiving files. Madam Clerk, could you call the roll on number 9?
Commissioner Varga,
Yes.
Commissioner Palomero,
Yes.
Commissioner Hattis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dobb,
Yes.
Commissioner Baydoun,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Chairman Recchi.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to receive and file that. Next item, please.
Item 10, communication from Capital Development and Buildings Administration forwarding notification of an emergency procurement with Northern Electrical Testing.
Okay. Is someone here from the administration? First of all, do the commissioners have any questions on this one?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes, go ahead, Commissioner Dodd.
So this one is for a chiller. I haven't done like the to look back on previous agendas, but it seems like we get a lot of emergency procurements for chillers, and I was wondering how many chillers there are in this building, and what's the history of them breaking down or having to be replaced or repaired. And I have no idea how many there are or how many have been worked on in the past maybe year or two.
Okay, someone from the administration?
Madam Chair, I believe Daryl Jones should be on the call. Daryl,
Okay.
Are you there?
Is Madam Clerk, how about the muting? Let's see here. We see him on,
I don't.
is there anybody else, Mr. Kandrivas, that could answer those
Deputy is
questions?
Michael Al. I don't know if Mr. Al's on the line, but Daryl told me he would be on the line. I don't know if he's having
Yeah, some of these we can't tell if he's,
issues. Let me try messaging.
okay. And actually, I'm gonna wait while you message him because I don't want to go on to the next one yet till.
Well, I mean, I think all of, or most of these are, most, I don't know.
Okay, well, why don't we go on to the next one? Commissioner Dobb, we'll go back to that when someone can answer.
I don't know if that helped, Madam the Chair. I understand that system in that facility, they all old system, and they always need repair and maintenance and sometimes replacement. And we know how difficult sometimes to maintain temperature in those old buildings. In fact, we face a similar problem in the Guardian building. In some floor, it's very hot in the winter, and the other, it's cold. Even in between 8 and 7 floor, we witnessed that. So I think it's what's caused many contract on it. But how many, I don't know.
Madam Chair, if I may.
Yes.
So this is Felicia. Good morning, everyone. And I don't have a direct answer with regards to exactly how many contracts, but I will note that we've had discussions with the department in recent weeks with regards to a lot of their contracts, including some of their emergency procurements. Because a commissioner is correct, you do have a lot of contracts with the same vendors, such as Cone, such as Tran and others, where they do the emergency procurements. So what we could do as staff is to get with the department to see if it's possible to actually just have a contract in place, because we do know as long as we're in the jails and in Frank Murphy, we're going to have issues, for example, with the elevators, with the chillers, with the air conditioning. And these are things that have been reoccurring over the last several years, to a point where we had to have a meeting with them to make sure that we could keep them straight, because it was just so many of the same vendors for similar items. And again, we did have a recent conversation with them, but we definitely can re-engage them to see if it's possible at all. In some instance, I know it won't be, but maybe if it's possible to have a master contract with any of these vendors to avoid having so many emergency procurements. I do know with some of them, they do have contracts such as routine maintenance, but then they have these other issues that they don't consider routine that they do contracts for. And I don't know if that helps Commissioner Dobb to sort of answer your question. I know I can't give you an exact number, but there are several, and we are trying to work with them as staff to make sure we keep track and understand exactly why we have so many with certain vendors.
Yes, that would be great. Thank you, Felicia.
Okay,
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got a hold of Daryl. He's getting back on right now. So
okay,
just give him a minute.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give him a minute because I have some questions that maybe he can answer as well with these contracts and POs.
You know if he's calling from a number or?
I'm on.
Oh, here he is. Okay.
Apologize for that. I was on earlier and got disconnected and had time to get back in.
Okay. Did you hear Commissioner Dobbs' question?
No, I did not. I only.
Okay.
I was on earlier, and I was just the first one, which was number 1 that I was assigned to, and you guys approved that, and somewhere I lost this call driving. So.
Okay, Commissioner Dobb, go ahead.
Okay, so I was just wondering. So I think that we see a lot of these emergency procurement contracts for chillers at the jail, and I was wondering if how many chillers there are. Are we just repairing the same one over and over, or what's going on over there?
Okay, we had 2 emergency chillers. Both units went down maybe I think a year ago prior to me getting here, and then they got them back running, and they only lasted for about maybe 2 months into this year. When we were preparation for getting ready in May, both chillers went down. One unit is at Lincoln Hall of Justice. That unit was purchased because after we looked at the rental agreements from 2 years ago, we spent about $350,000, and it was easier to buy a used unit that has a 3-year warranty for $108,000. That was necessarily credited to that point, and that unit is running. It's ours. We'll have that unit for any emergency purposes, and it's no longer needed to be purchase a chiller for Lincoln Hall of Justice. Frank Murphy Hall of Justice chiller is a centrifugal chiller, which went down. We had to do an emergency PO for rental agreement, is because the unit, that brand new unit, would have cost us about $260,000, and we were on a waiting list for about 12 weeks in order for that to be delivered. And we're in the midst of a heat pandemic, and there was no reason to wait that out. Basically, with grievances that were filed, we needed to get that unit up and running.
Okay, thank you. I guess I got a little confused. So the last one was at Lincoln Hall of Justice. This one's at Frank Murphy.
Right. This one is at Frank Murphy. That is a rental agreement. And that was emergency fee for a rental agreement. Next year, we're not sure where we're going to be because we're potentially, as you know, the Frank Murphy Hall of Justice is potentially going away. We don't know how soon we'll be out of that building, though.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Anyone else? I have a couple questions here. We got a lot of information on these receiving files, but some of these are similar. And I'm wondering, because a PO is the payment mechanism that allows funds to be expended, it's my understanding that an emergency procurement needs a contract afterwards. I'm interested in why this emergency PO is from June 10th to September 30th without a contract. I don't understand how that works. When you can, my understanding of an emergency PO is that it's at that time, at that date, that you have an emergency. And so I'm confused on why there's an extended time from June 10th to September 30th where emergency POs can keep going without a contract.
Okay. So if we're talking about necessarily referring to the chiller incident, or we're just talking in general?
Well, in general, but I think the next few items all have the same problem.
Okay,
or close to it.
And I think they're all tied into together with the emergency POs.
Yes.
We just met with commission staff in order to understand how we necessarily should generate. Normally, when we have a contract already with the vendor, with the emergency PO, we accrue a purchase order for emergency at that time, and we supposed to enter into a new contract at that point. The emergency documents probably at that time is not already prepared at the time when we do the emergency in order to get it activated at that point. And then basically once we do the paperwork, which we've corrected that since before this getting to meeting, before it got to commission, that we've corrected that with the commission staff on solidifying that and getting that paperwork to you guys, because it wasn't attached at that time. Once we start that process, it's not attached at that time. It should be in the documents prior to you getting it at commission, but it's usually not into there until we finish the process of the paperwork.
So are you saying that there will be a contract between June 10th and September 30th?
That contract should be right. Okay. Right. It's just that it's not issued at that time, and it's not in the process before we get to that point when we start the emergency PO.
Okay, but you're saying we are going to get a contract for this?
I believe you already should have the contract that was already sent back from that.
Through the chair.
Go ahead, Felicia.
Just for clarification purposes, so the items you have before you do not have contract documents.
Right.
Now, if you'll see from the analysis, we indicated that after the emergency PO was issued, the department with Corp Counsel should follow up to make sure that all the paperwork is complete. Normally, under emergency conditions, they don't necessarily have time to complete all of the paperwork up front. So purchasing will issue the PO to get them started, but they are supposed to do the paperwork. The documentation you have before you do not have that paperwork. We don't anticipate as a staff and a commission that we will receive that paperwork. However, as indicated, we have had numerous discussions with the department, purchasing, and Corp Counsel over the last 2 weeks with regards to what should be included and to clarify the process for everyone. So our hope is that moving forward, as we receive additional emergency procurements, that all of the paperwork will be included, but we don't anticipate getting that paperwork for the items you have before you today.
Okay.
Well, because some of these items have already been paid and completed.
Right. I'm just hoping if any more of these items come to us that we do have a contract especially if it's these companies that we've already done the emergency procurement with. Okay, all right, well, let's take a vote on this and then we'll go on to the next one. Any questions from the commissioners? Okay, Madam Clerk, what you call? This is for
We need a
receive and
motion.
file.
We need a motion.
I'll move to receive and file.
Support.
Okay, I heard Commissioner Dobb and Commissioner Palomera. Could everybody put their phones or iPads or whatever on mute? I'm hearing a lot of background noise, hard to hear. Okay, Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Commissioner Varga,
Yes.
Commissioner Palomera,
Yes.
Commissioner Hattis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dobb,
Yes.
Commissioner Baydoun,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Chair Marecki.
Yes. Item passes. Next item.
Item 11, communication from Capital Development and Buildings Administration, forwarding notification of an emergency procurement with BioServe Corporation, DBA Rose Pest Solutions.
Okay, this is another problem. Again, there's an emergency procurement from June 5th to September 30th. And the vendor did services from October 2019 to February 20th without a contract. So this is paying past invoices, which is not really an emergency procurement. So I need an explanation on this.
Not a problem. I can explain that. Rose Pest Control was a company that we had a contract with that expired. And we were in the process of procuring a new contract with Ecotech, I believe is the company. And prior to that, we had some emergencies with pest control running rapidly at the jail division and a few other sites. So we at that time had to, before the commission processed the Ecotech, in order for that to go in place of the contract, we had to rehire Rose Pest Control in order to do emergency work for us. That's the reason why that was processed like that.
Okay, but the emergency work was from October 2019 to February 2020?
No, you're talking about
without a contract.
No, I'm sorry. You're talking about past due bills that were necessarily in the process of paying the past due bills. The emergency was not for that. The emergency was for the pest control process.
Okay, but it's my understanding this item is to pay past due bills.
So, Madam Chair, if I may, I'm
Yes.
sorry, continuously to interrupt, but this is Felicia. So just for explanation purpose, so this emergency procurement did two things. It paid for emergency services beginning in June for pest control, but it also referenced past due invoices. So as indicated, there was a contract with this vendor that expired last September 2019. It expired. However, the vendor continued to work from October 19 to February 2020 without a contract. So this PO authorized payment of those past due invoices. Now, the problem with that is that one, an emergency PO shouldn't do that. Two, because there was no contract document, the purchasing director and the budget director had no authority to actually issue that emergency PO and approve the payment for these past due invoices of $28,000. What should have occurred is that that prior contract with the vendor should have been modified to extend out until February 2020, where they would have had a contract to authorize the services and to authorize the payment. That contract required commission approval. However, none of that occurred. So in this instance, those invoices for the almost $29,000 were paid under this emergency PO. And as you'll see from the analysis, that was just not proper procedure on any part. In addition, as you indicated, there was also some issues concerning the lack of contract documents and the timing of this particular emergency PO. But the main concern was the fact that they authorized payment of invoices without the contract, and that contract required commission approval.
Now, Felicia, I have a question. Does the county have protocols in place to prevent some improper, using it in quotes, payments like this? I mean, is there something in the future that we should make sure that this doesn't happen?
So that really is a question for, I would say, the procurement director, Aaron Wagner. From what we can tell, obviously there was nothing in place to prevent this, and this was approved by the procurement director. I don't know if they have protocols in place that were just missed, or if they'll implement new protocols to address it. But that's not, at this point, obviously it occurred, so they didn't have them or someone didn't follow them.
Okay, maybe that's something we can look into. I will speak to the procurement director. So this is a receive and file. So the commission really doesn't have any choice but to receive and file this. Is that correct?
Well, I mean, this has already occurred. So, I mean, and it's something that has taken place. It's simply here for receiving and filing for your information purposes. So we don't think it's harmful for you to receive the information at this point. I mean, though it did violate the procurement ordinance and your authority for contracts, at this point, it's my understanding that everything has been paid and occurred. So it's just something that we're noting for your information.
Right. Okay. Well, hopefully this doesn't happen again and we have to go through all this explanation. But how about the other commissioners? Does anybody have any questions or comments? Okay. All right. So hopefully we're going to be getting contracts with some of this in the future. Okay. Madam Clerk, will you call the roll on this one for receiving? Oh, do we have any direction on this?
Move to receive and file.
Okay.
Support.
Palomero and Baydoun. Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Commissioner Varga,
Yes.
Commissioner Palomero, Commissioner Palomero,
Yes. Yes.
Commissioner Hattis,
Yes.
Commissioner Daub,
Yes.
Commissioner Baydoun,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Chair Mareki.
Yes. Motion passes. Next item.
Item 12, communication from Capital Development and Buildings Administration, forwarding notification of an emergency procurement with ACE restoration.
Okay, and this was just for the commissioners' information. This is cleaning the juvenile detention facility because of COVID. This had no contract and no PO, or no contract afterwards. In April 16th, there was no contract in place, but a PO started April 30th to September 30th. And the date of this is September 6th, I believe. Anyway, there's problems with this as well. So does anybody have any questions? I'm hoping that that everybody knows what some of the concerns are here. Any questions on this?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Are we using CARES Act funds for this?
Someone from the...
Yeah, if I may speak on it, I'm sorry. I've got my
Yes.
wits about me about that. I apologize, guys. I was at the hospital. So, yes, we're using CARES Act money towards this.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any questions? Any more questions on this? Okay, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
We need a motion.
Yes.
Move for
I'm sorry.
approval.
Varga
Okay.
moves.
Okay, I think it was Varga and Baydoun, I
Mhm.
believe. Okay, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Varga,
Yes.
Commissioner Palomero,
Yes.
Commissioner Hattis,
Yes.
Commissioner Daub,
Yes.
Commissioner Baydoun,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Chair Mareki.
Yes, motion passes. Next item.
Item 13, requesting commission approval of a 5-year contract with Master Maintenance Corporation.
Okay, this is for janitorial and window cleaning.
Move for approval, Madam Chair.
Okay.
Support.
All right, Hattis and Baydoun. Any questions, commissioners? All right, Madam Clerk, could you call the roll on this one?
Commissioner Varga,
Yes.
Commissioner Palomero,
Yes.
Commissioner Hattis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dobb,
Yes.
Commissioner Baydoun,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Chairman Recky.
Yes. Motion passes. Next item.
Item 14, requesting commission approval of a three-year contract with the one-year option to renew with AECom Great Lakes.
Okay. It's rehab of the Huron River Drive Bridge.
So moved, Madam the Chair.
Okay. I heard Commissioner Hattis. I don't know who the other person was.
Jewel
think what-
Ware.
Oh, okay,
Ware.
Commissioner Ware. Okay, Hattis and Ware. Any questions, commissioners? Okay, Madam Clerk, could you call the roll?
Commissioner Varga,
Yes.
Commissioner Palomero,
Yes.
Commissioner Hattis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dobb,
Yes.
Commissioner Baydoun,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Chairman Recky.
Yes. How about we take the next two items? You can read them both, 15 and 16, and they're both sole source items, but if you could read those partly, each one, so we could take them together.
Okay. Item 15, requesting commission approval of modification 1 to a 3-year sole source contract with Kennedy Industries. And then item 16, requesting commission approval of a modification 1 to a 3-year sole source contract with a 1-year option to renew with Care Pump and Supply.
Okay, these are for pump repairs and replacements. As far as for flood mitigation, can someone from the administration tell everyone why they're sole source contracts?
Good morning. This is Steve Shea, Deputy Director of Roads.
Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. So both of those contracts are really necessary and important. They provide miscellaneous pump station parts and bridge parts. And the reason for the two different companies is because we have different pump styles in our pump houses. So we have to rely on more than one vendor to get that particular part to be replaced.
Okay. Any questions, commissioners?
Madam the Chair, I
Yes.
really, given the pain I've been going through with the flood and ditches, I'd be honored to make the motion to contribute to buy the tool and fix those problems. I'll
Okay,
make the
great.
motion.
Great. Anyone
I'll
second?
support Dobb.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Hattis and Commissioner Dobb. Any questions? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Varga, Commissioner Varga,
Yes.
Commissioner Palomero,
Yes.
Commissioner Hattis,
Yes.
Commissioner Dobb,
Yes.
Commissioner Baydoun,
Yes.
Commissioner Ware,
Yes.
Chairman Recky.
Yes, motion passes. Next item.
Moving back to the agenda. E, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any. Is there anything from the commissioners? Okay, next item.
Public comments.
Okay, public comments. Have we received any emails on any of these items or any other items rather?
No emails have been received.
Okay. Madam Clerk, could you unmute everyone? And if there's someone from the public that would like to address the Committee on Public Services, please, I don't see anybody in the chat room or the raising hand area. So if anybody's from the public that would like to address us, you can just chime in and tell us who you are. Anyone from the public? Okay, one more time. Anyone from the public that would like to address us? Okay, I hear none. Next item.
Adjournment.
Okay. Do we have
So
a motion
moved.
to adjourn? Okay.
Support.
Baydoun and Palomero. Okay. All those in favor? Say
Aye.
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 Okay, we are now
Aye.
adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
See you
Thanks,
at 12.
Tate.